Number 1. Ever since we put up that job notice on our site, we receive a lot of applications. I bet there are at least 50. I know. The president will be happy to hear that. He is eager to hire a head engineer and wants the new hire to start as soon as possible. Sounds good, but with so many submissions, I haven't been able to look at all of them properly. Why don't I help you? I have some time tomorrow around 10 o'clock. I'll, by, I'll stop by your office and we can go over them together. Number 2. Shatter, I heard you were promoted. Congratulations. When does it go into effect? Thanks. It starts in 2 weeks. But I'm busy until then since I need to attend training every day for it. I don't know when I have time to practice stuff up. Well, I finished my work for the day. Really? That's perfect. Could you see if there's an extra box in the supplies closet? Number 3. Did you hear? At the staff meeting this morning, they said that the store manager, Miss Hartford, will retire this year, and they're looking for someone internal to take this spot. Wow, I'd love to be a store manager, but I don't think I have enough experiences to be considered. But didn't you take business classes in college? Plus you've been assistant manager for a while. That's a lot more than most of us. Maybe you're right. Do you know when interviews do you know when interviews start? I think I'll be compiling a list of candidates this month and beginning interviews next month. The human resources manager would know more, so you should ask him. Did you hear about Stacy? She's quitting and going to work for Bryce Publications. You're kidding? They are our biggest competitor. I thought she'd like it here. She did, but they scouted her and offered her a great position. It was hard to refuse. Good for her. She deserves it. Maybe we should start thinking about career plans. Right. I think I'll update I think I'll update my resume later today. Number 5. Thank you for coming to today's interview. We know the location is hard to reach. I'm Scott Somerton, the chief designer, and I'm Jeffrey Bardot, the head editor of the magazine. It's great to finally meet you both. We, look, we looked over your resume and thought you would be a perfect addition to our design department, but we weren't sure you had much experience in fashion photography. Actually, I did freelance work for my friend's fashion studio. Would you like to Would you like to see some of pieces we used on her website? I brought some I brought some with me today. That's good. That would be great. And if you could tell us about how you came up with your shooting method. Number 6. Amy, have you applied for the company position that were advertised last week? No, I'm still revising my resume. It doesn't feel like it stands out enough. I know they'll be opening up the hiring to people outside the company as well. If you want, I can send you my resume to use as a guide. I received a lot of help with mine, and it definitely helped. I would appreciate that. Thanks. Number 7. Now, before we finish today's meeting, I'd like to talk about our hiring process for this year. In the past, we've always used a headhunter who recommends candidates to us, but I'd like to discontinue this service. Oh, why that? I thought it was very successful. It is, but it is very costly, and corporate would like us to reduce hiring costs. I've come up with a chart that shows how we hired people in the past. I'm surprised. I didn't expect these results. Then, then we should definitely go with the second best method. I'll talk to the rest of the team so they can know more about this. Number one, the woman said to the man that since they put up that job notice on their website, uh, they had received a lot of applications, and she thought there was at least 50. The man agreed with her, and he uh, he commented the president would be happy to hear that because she was eager to hire a head engineer and wanted the new hire to start as soon as possible. The woman agreed with him. However, uh, she uh, she said that with so many submissions, she hadn't been able to look at all of them properly. The man the man suggested her on tomorrow around 10 o'clock, and she would by and he would stop by her office, and they can go over them together. Number two, the man congratulated the woman on her promotion, and he wanted to know when it's going to effect. The woman was thankful the man for that, and she replied, "It starts in two weeks." However, she was busy until then because she needed to attend training every day for it. So she didn't know when she would have time to back that stuff up. The man replied, um, he had finished his work for the day, so he can help her. Uh, the woman was happy about that, and she suggested the man find an extra box in the supply closet. Number three, the woman said to the man that at the staff meeting that morning, uh, the store manager said that he would retire that year, and they are looking for someone internal. They was looking for someone internal to take the spot. The man was surprised about that, and he said he would love to be a store manager. However, he didn't think he had enough experiences to be considered. The woman wanted to confirm that he he had taught business classes in college, and she said the man had been assistant manager for a while, so she thought that was a lot more than most of us. The man agreed with the woman, and he wanted to know the woman if if she know when the interview start. The woman replied uh, she thought they would be compiling a list of candidates that month and beginning interview for the following month. And she said the woman resource manager would know more, so she chatted the man asking. Number four, the woman wanted to know if the man heard about Stacy because Stacy was quitting and going to work for Bryce Publications. The man was surprised by that because that company was their biggest competitor, and he thought Stacy liked it there. The woman agreed with him. However, that company scouted her and offered her a raised position, so it was hard to refuse. The man agreed with her and said that Stacy deserved this. So he thought they should start thinking about their career plans. The woman agreed with him, and she thought she would update her resume later that day. Number 5. The man was thankful the woman for coming to that day's interview because the location was hard to reach, and they was introduced themselves to the woman. The man was the man one was the chief designer, and the man B was the head editor of the magazine. The woman was happy about meet them. So the man too said to the woman, they looked over her resume and thought the woman would be a perfect addition to their design department. However, they weren't sure that the woman had much experience in fashion photography. The woman replied she did freelance work for her friend's fashion studio, and she suggested the woman. She suggested the man um, sees some of the pieces mm, they are used on her friend website, and she brought some with her that day. The man one was happy about that, and he suggested the woman tell them about how she came up with her shooting method. Number 6. The man wanted to know if the woman applied for the company position for that was advertised the week before. The woman, the woman disagreed with the man because she was still revising her resume. She com- she commented, "It doesn't feel like it stands out enough," and she said she knew they would be opening up the hiring to people outside the company as well. And the man suggested sending his resume to her to use as a guide because uh, he had received a lot of help with himself, and he thought it definitely helped. So the woman was thankful the man about that. Number 7. The woman said to the man that before they finished that day's meeting, she would like to talk about their hiring process for that year. Uh, she said that in the past they had always used a headhunter who recommends candidates to them. However, she would like to discontinue that service. The man was surprised by that, and he wanted to know why that was, because he thought this was very successful. The woman agreed with the man. However, she said that it was very costly, and corporate would like them to reduce hiring costs, and she had come up with the chart that shows how we hired people in the past. The man was surprised by that because he didn't expect the results, and he said that they should definitely go with the second best method, and he would talk to the rest of the team to so they can know more about that.